Today we're going to learn why we must pay ourselves first. Before start, I recommended you to check a famous documentary by Japan NHK. Sun Talent Market. Once watching it, you'd be totally shocked. The film unravels the bottom world in China which we could never imagine. The story takes place in Shenzhen, China's Silicon Valley. Such prosperous city as it is, there are plenty of people known as three and great god. These are a group of cheap laborers with only junior high school diploma. Because of lack of education and skills, they have no choice but to take low-income jobs, and they only do short-term works or even daily works, for they don't want to take too much responsibilities and suffer from work. After getting the salary, they would indulge themselves in online games to numb themselves, cause in the games, they can have anything, wealth, relationship, a sense of achievement etc. They kept the lifestyle of, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. Since they can't see the future, being devastated by the reality, they are desperate and unlikely to get out of this vicious cycle. Miserable as it sounds, we can reflect on ourselves. Have you ever heard of people who live from paycheck to paycheck? Or probably your friends happen to be one of them. Their situation is no better than the three and great god, for they are in high risks. When emergencies happen, what could they do? They don't have savings and are pretty vulnerable to such accidents, which highly likely could make them bankrupt. As the proverb goes, save money for a rainy day. When we are in good situations, we should prepare for probable accidents in the future. One of the most useful methods is to pay yourself first. So what does this mean? This means, whenever you're paid, you must utilize a portion of it to help you achieve financial freedom. To put it plain, you have to save before spending. It is the most basic and powerful principle you ought to follow. Even if you're in debts, you still have to spare a portion of your money first and only after that you can pay the debts. You might wonder, but if I really don't even have a penny to spare? Well, then you have to either 1. Earn more. 2. Save more. You are actually destroying your future if you don't pay yourself first. Picture this in your mind. When you get old, you'd have less energy and are unlikely to work as hard as the time when you're young, meaning you're likely to earn less. So if you don't save money first, where would you expect the money to come from when you need money in the future? Just as the traditional Chinese proverb says, idle young, needy old. As a result, we have to work hard and save money when we still can. Now that you've understood the importance of paying you first, let's take a look at practical steps to help you achieve your goal. First of all, save your emergency fund. Literally speaking, it's a fund to support you when emergencies happen. For instance, if you get laid off, without a steady income, it'd be hard for you to sustain yourself and you might even have families to support. Another example is that you might get hurt in an accident, being unable to work for several months. Where does your living expenditure come from? So if you have already saved plenty of money, won't it be a great relief? The general amount of emergency funds is about 1/6 month's living expenditure of. So if you spend $10,000 each month, you have to save at least $60,000. Of course, if you want to have more security, you can save more money, like up to 12 months of living expenses. 2. Budget plan. After dealing with the emergency fund, next we're going to see how to utilize our left money. One of the best ways to deal with the left money is use jar system. Generally speaking, you have to divide your monthly income into 6 portions for different purposes. These 6 savings accounts are: 1. Financial freedom account. 10% use at least 10% of your income to invest in assets, whose value can increase over time, or they can generate interests to give you passive income, like stocks, rights, bonds etc. You should never withdraw money from this account, for they are used to help you achieve financial freedom, unless you don't want it. 2. Education account. 10%. Use 10% of your income to invest in yourself. It could be buying books, taking courses, attending a training or address etc. This investment is always the best. Investing in yourself, the return can even be hundreds to thousands times, and no other investment can have such high return. 3. Living expenses account. 55%. Use at most 55% of the income as the living expenses. This includes eating, living expenditure, transportations fees etc. If you can't spend within the amount, you have to either earn more money or spend less. 4. Entertainment account. 10%. Use 10% income for entertainment. It's unlikely to be all work and no play. You can use the money whatever you like traveling, having a good meal, going out with others, buying what you want. 5. Long-term savings account. 10%. Save 10% of your income for long term. This saving makes sure you have the ability to purchase whatever you want in the future, like cars, houses, etc. 6. Contribution account, 5%. Use 5% of the income to do something that's meaningful for the society. Like donating to the charity groups, helping homeless people, feeding stray dogs and cats, etc. You can also use it for your own purposes like treating yourself once in a while. So for example, if you earn $10,000 per month, you should put $1,000 in accounts like financial freedom account, education account, entertainment account, long-term savings account. And put $5,500 as the living expenses. And finally $500 in the contribution account. If you don't have such strong willpower to follow these rules strictly, here's a good solution. You can set up an automatic system. Whenever you get your salary, the banking system will automatically transfer certain amount of money to the accounts. The meaning of doing so is to make it easier to operate and more reliable to implement. Finally, let's review what we learned today. 1. To stay away from poverty in the future, we have to pay ourselves first. 2. Pay yourself first means save first before spending. Even you have debts, you still have to save a portion of your income. 3. How to pay for yourself, use JARS systems. And set up an automatic banking system to help you accomplish so.